Now, my life in 37 therapies. I'm loving this because, oh, sorry. So, my next guest, her name is Kay Hutchinson, and she wrote a remarkable book, as I mentioned, called My Life in 37 Therapies. So, she tried from yoga to hypnosis to voodoo. And I'm sure most of you have heard of voodoo. So this book made me feel a lot of things, but mainly made me smile because we see how, as people, we search for answers in all sorts of places. A few of the places Kay went including colonic irrigation, guided mediations, massage, past life regression, and some kind of breast massage. And it was very interesting. I absolutely love talking to Kay. So she started by telling me why she embarked on this journey in the first place.
I was never really one to be into therapies at all, but I had a very life-changing moment several years ago where I had been working very, very hard and I'd had a couple of things to deal with in my personal life which were quite overwhelming. And it led me to actually dropping everything, kind of shutting down and dropping everything that had been part of my life in the past and basically trying to reboot my life, if you like. The things which impacted on me were the death of my mother from cancer. And she had suffered for about 4 years from a really nasty cancer. And at the end of that, she finally died, which was very, very sad for the whole family. And I'd kind of tried to, keep things going and sort of almost step into her shoes, which of course is just a ridiculous thing to
Yeah.
do. But I think the family kind of looked to me to sort of keep things going. But then I didn't really deal with it. I was just running around again. And then I found a lump on my husband's throat not long after she died. And then we discovered that he had cancer and he had to go through the same radiotherapy, chemotherapy. And obviously, in the back of our minds, or certainly mine, oh, am I going to lose my husband as well? So he stopped work. I was still working hard, earning for the two of us, and running home at night time to try and make sure that he was eating properly. They give you special diets, and I needed to make sure that he was okay. And he was obviously very, very worried about it. And they do this awful thing where when you have chemotherapy, they say, we don't really know how this is going to impact you, but on this night, we're going to give you the first set, have your wife with you, and if anything goes wrong, can you please push the emergency button? I mean, it's so
Yeah.
overwhelming,
Wow.
the experience. But after that, my dear husband, who I really was very I was joined at the hip. We were quite codependent. I didn't have any children at that time. And he, after he recovered, which was absolutely amazing, it was a treatable cancer. We caught it early, and he recovered. That was absolutely brilliant. But so we were running around doing all the same thing, going to the same holidays, doing the same things, spending lots of money on treats. And actually, one day we were in the middle of quite an extravagant holiday in the south of France, and it just all seemed totally as if I didn't belong there. It wasn't really me. I was sort of thinking, well, why are we doing all this? It doesn't have the same special feeling that I've had with it all these years. I left him there in the holiday and I went to get a flight home and I literally started a new life.
So, what was the first therapy that you actually yeah, it went on?
A friend said, "Oh, why don't you try acupuncture? It's good at releasing trapped energy and getting everything flowing really healthily around the body, all the energies, all the kind of you might have a problem. It could be even in the area of your heart or in your head, and the acupuncture can actually stimulate your healing and released release trapped energy, what they call chi. So I went along to the acupuncture, but my first experience there was a bit of a baptism of fire, because I had actually deliberately chosen a Chinese place, and I was lulled into false sense of security. It's lovely, beautifully dressed lady in reception, and she sort of said, "Oh, good, you've signed up for a course of 6," and she sat me down, gave me some sort of herbal tea. And then, to cut a long story short, I found myself about 10 minutes later in a basement room, naked, with a chain smoking acupuncturist opening these horrendously noisy plastic packages and then sticking pins in me in the most weird places, like my head and my hairline, my wrists, my ankles, my knees, and I really felt so uncomfortable. But actually, once he pinned me down like Jack Black in Gulliver's Travels, off he trotted. And I was left there to just, I didn't really feel I could move. It was a bit sore with all the pins. But actually, after about 10 minutes, I began to drift off. And when I eventually came out of that horrendous start, because he didn't speak English, so he hadn't actually explained anything to me at all, I actually felt really quite calm. And so I went back. I did actually go back for my other 5, and I found it to be great. That was one of the first.
So when you say voodoo is not the answer,
Yeah.
what happened?
Well, I think actually, I bet voodoo is really works for some people, because I think it is also about a spiritual connection with yourself and thinking about the spirit world rather than just what's out there. You know, I don't know what you call a voodoo practitioner, but
I always thought it's a voodoo priest or
priest.
Yeah, it is. Isn't it?
And you know, there were spells and I mean, it was a very interesting place that I went into, and by then I was feeling quite comfortable with all, you know, candles and chants and affirmations and things like that. But she told me at the end that actually, if I wanted to get back to this guy that I had been with, and it was a really dysfunctional relationship I'd been through, I had to go to a very expensive department store in town. I had to buy a wedding dress for me and a suit for him. I had to take this red candle, and I had to chant this, you know, sort of basic, like a sort of charm type
So,
incantation for the next 2 months, and he would come back to me.
so more or less hypnotize him to come back.
Yes, and I just thought, well, first of all, I thought, oh God, I don't really think I want him back because it wasn't good.
So my final question, it's like 2 questions in one, is which top 3 therapies would you recommend, and which top 3 would you not recommend?
Okay, top 3 that I would recommend, things that have lasted for me way past going through all of these therapies. First of all, yoga. It's just a completely all-round health-giving thing for your mind, your thinking at work, for your body, your doing things, and most importantly, also for your spirit. It helps you calm your mind and remember who you are as a little human being inside. Silent retreat. If you can do a silent retreat, and if you can last the time, it is so worth it. You can even do silent retreats for 10 days where they tell you at the end, you pay what this experience is worth to you.
Wow.
Not just what you can afford. Some people didn't pay anything, and other people probably paid more because it was worth, and the idea of actually helping someone else have that experience, brilliant. And massage. I know that's not very exciting, but aromatherapy, these herbal scents, and the actual benefit of them for your body is huge. And if you don't like someone massaging your body, try reflexology. It's exactly the same thing, but using your feet.
I love that.
I hate to finish on a negative note, but the things that didn't really work for me, and I think it was because I'm not very good at, wasn't really very good at physical things, are the kind of more intrusive treatments like colonic irrigation, which I found really, I'm sure is good, and I've got a lot of friends that swear by it and go regularly. But to me, it was quite intrusive and kind of barbaric, and me sitting there like a beached whale with my stomach gurgling away inside and having water coming up from your rear end. Just really, I just didn't enjoy it. So I couldn't really relax and get the best out of it. What else? What else did I know? Oh, esoteric breast massage. There you go again. Yeah, another one which is really odd. You know, a woman massaging my breasts to help me connect with more with my feminine side. Maybe it's because I'm a Scot and I'm from a Scottish Presbyterian background, which is very stiff upper lip and would never think that anything like that would work. I just couldn't relax into it. And let me think. There must have been one. Is there one that you think is a bit odd?
I think
Ngunan.
the funny one was, it wasn't odd. It was the breast one, definitely. I was like, I've
Yeah.
never heard of anything like that.
Yep.
And the silent one, because I think what made me laugh up was where it said the no killing rule. So that
Oh,
made me
yes.
laugh.
Yes, indeed, indeed. Well, I think the beginning of that was so weird because we'd ended up with, there were some women there and they had come on the holiday, inverted commas, with their husband over Christmas one year. The very first thing that happened was we were handed this little piece of paper that said, no talking, no looking at each other. There was to be no sex and no distracting bodily decoration. So no jewellery. We had to give everything away. No phones, obviously. But and no killing. And I was kind of looking around thinking, oh, had there been some before? So, but every single one of us that made it was relaxed and calm and could be at peace with ourselves and
Okay.
knew how to be quiet and still.
Yeah. So, Kay, where can we purchase your amazing book?
Oh, obviously good bookshops, but Waterson's is probably the most accessible.
Well, you know what, Kay? It is a good book. I absolutely love talking to Kay. So yeah, My Life in 37 Therapies, and it's fantastic. I really enjoyed the book. So please, if you're looking for something to uplift you, make you smile, make you laugh, make you think, that is definitely a book worth getting.